what's up, everybody? It's Omar. It is February 27th, 8:49 p.m. in the evening, and I already built my watch list for tomorrow. I wasn't gonna do it, but I got so many Twitter messages and a couple of YouTube messages from people that are telling me like they're really making money like consistently with these watch lists, and and adopting my strategy, really focusing on key support and resistance levels for entry and exits, that I just said, I'm just gonna build one out because they've been incredible, my watch lists lately, and I've been like murdering it. I don't post my P&Ls. I just stopped doing that shit. It's really more about like teaching you guys, how to trade more than seeing what anybody's making. But I'm doing really, really well. So with that said, really quickly, these are the stocks on my watch list for tomorrow, and I'll post it on Twitter right as soon as I'm done here. First up is BPMX. It's up, so from 17 cents to 25 cents. This is a stock that has, when it does have, like some volume and some news, I don't know what's out, it can move. So, we've seen it in the past where it's had multiple green days, so over the last year. So, it got to literally 1 cent, and now it's at 25 cents. So imagine people who bought here, man. Hell, forget about it. A lot of rich people right now of this stock. So, all right, so what I want to say is that I'm looking at two key levels tomorrow. If it breaks above 25 and holds, take it long. If it can't hold 25, take it short if you can find the shares. I mean, probably only, you would probably need the interactive brokers to be able to do this. I don't even think Thinkorswim has this yet. Nothing to borrow on Thinkorswim, but I'm pretty sure interactive brokers may have shares. Now, if it pulls back at the open and it holds 23 cents, that's the dip buy. All right. So if it dips below it and it gets above it, and you could see it hold 23, like breaks above it, pulls back and holds, consolidates and move, then you can take it long at 23. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but the market seems to have picked up. I'm still skeptical, man. I still think there's gonna be one crazy day where the Dow is just gonna crash, but I could be wrong. But so far we play the market, right? We play what the market gives us. Now there is another key support level below this, would be probably like around this 20-cent level. I didn't put anything there, but if it holds, yeah, it looks about low, yeah, about 20 point. What does it say? Low 20.6, 20.6. Yeah, so 20.6. So we'll say create an alert at 20.6. Potential dip buy at 20.6, or short rejection. All right, and it's actually 0.206. All right, so here we go. So I got another one there. So those are my three key levels for a potential trade. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but have it on watch. Next one, ABIO. This stock had collapsed literally, pre-market from 175. It went to 68 and then hit a low of 65, and then today, it started gapping up. Market opened, and it got up to a high of 63 cents and then kind of pulled back, and after I was up at 68 cents. Now if it can get past 70, what's the high here, 75 cents, I mean, that's really where the break, that's really what we should be looking at, to be quite honest with you. I had it here, but the high here is what, 75. So I'm going to put an alert for 75. Actually, yeah, let's edit this, and let's say, all right, so we're gonna say create alert. We're gonna say buy breakout if holds 75, or short rejection. All right, so really the key level here is I got two. I got one at 68 cent and one at 75. But the key level here, if it gets above 75, there's nothing stopping this to get back up there. You have some at some resistance at 111. But not to say that it will. Maybe tomorrow just tanks back to nothing, but we'll see. It has the gap to fill, so above. So let's see what happens. All right. Next up, AKER. I walked everybody through this on Twitter, and it's pretty remarkable how support and resistance works. Now, in pre-market, I posted on Twitter today because I said yesterday if it by the breakout, if it broke above 62, well, it moved pre-market. And in pre-market, it hit a high 67. So you gotta set your alert. You gotta set your support and resistance lines at 67. And look what happens. The market opens, it starts gapping up, it pulls back. This is the 50-day simple moving average. That's why I like to have this one, the 50 and the 200. I just added the 300 simple moving average here because somebody on Twitter I've been talking to has been using it. And I like to back test things and just see how things move sometimes. But the 50 and the 200 is fine. I don't even know if I'm going to, I'm just messing around with the 300 right now. But I really work off those two. And VWAP, of course. So if you notice, it consolidates and then, it's kind of trending upwards, holding that 50-day moving average. And then right here, you see how it consolidates sideways and then retest that, and then it's off to the races. And, it moved. It got to a high. Right, the high there at this point was 72 cents. It broke above 72, right, which was the high here at this point of the day. And look, consolidates at that higher day. That's why I tell you that you don't buy the breakout. You want to see the stock break above the higher day and kind of hold it. And you can see here that it holds it. And that's how you can tell. And that's when the smart buyers got in and they rolled this up. And you see it bounced off the 50-day simple moving average, hit a high of 80. And then look what it retraced to. 67 cents literally, which was yesterday's high. I mean, actually the pre-market high. Sorry about that. Yesterday's high was 62. That's why it's so important to map out your support and resistance even pre-market, because that drives the market. And this is living proof, guys, that you see people really literally work off support and resistance. Don't believe all the bullshit you see on Twitter and all these indicators. They're really not necessary. You just take trades based off those key support and resistance levels. That's it. And this theory applies to Netflix, Apple, which are like $100 stocks, $1,000 stocks, and penny stocks. It's the same principle. All right. So tomorrow, what we want to see is if it breaks above 80 and holds, we're gonna take it long. Okay. If it retraces back and holds 72, we can buy the dip. Otherwise, we can short, risking off that. The next key level is 67 cents. If it pulls back to 67 and holds, you can buy the dip. And then the next key level below that, 62 cents. If it holds 62, you can buy the dip, otherwise short it. I think it'll fall, within this range. I don't think it gets below 62 tomorrow, but we'll see. I think tomorrow it's going to maybe test that 80 and probably break above it and keep going. We'll see, all right? But we got our key levels set, and then I have some levels below it, but these are the ones that we're really focusing on for tomorrow. Next up is NIHD, and I've been having you guys trade this since 60 cents, so, and it's up to 144 now. All right, so it just keeps moving. It's had big 3 green days, so, and the volume is decreasing each day over these last 3 days, but it continues to move. So tomorrow, in theory, would normally be the day where it would be go red, and people would take a lot of profit. But we'll see. All right. So we're looking at those key levels where if it can break above 144 and hold it, take it long. If it can't hold 144, short it. I don't know if Thinkorswim has shares to short. Thinkorswim looks like it has shares to short, believe it or not. So if it holds 125, which is the next key support level, right? So I'm looking here, next key support level. I buy the dip. Otherwise, you could short it, risking off that 125. Then you got some support here at 114. I didn't put an alert here, but you do have some support here at 114. I'll probably put an alert later. I'm just gonna try and get through this quick. And then the last area is 107. So if it holds 107, you can buy the dip. Otherwise, you can short it. Tomorrow, though, it may be the day where it gives it all back. We'll see. Or maybe it runs. Who knows? But we have some key areas to look at for tomorrow. Next up is I. So I moved. This was another stock that we've had on our watch list several times before. And I'm just looking at 2 key areas. So, got up to a high of 515 and it's retraced all the way back to this 430. Now it's sort of gapping up. You know, what I'm looking at to see if is it gonna break above 515 or get to that area, test it, and then I could short off it, or is it gonna pull back and hold this key support level 423? If it holds 423, I'll buy the dip. Otherwise, I'll take it short. Those are the two key areas I'm interested in. I mean, in theory, you could put another support line, a trend line here at 452 to see where it does, because it does have some good support here at, yeah, like 452, 453. What is this? Yeah, this is 450. It says 451, but if you notice here, yeah, so right in here, 453. So in that 450 range, you can also, you know, potentially buy a dip if it held. All right, so if it holds, we'll put an alert here to say, dip buy if holds 453 or short rejection. Yeah, because that's a key area too. All right, so there we go. So we got our key areas here. We'll see what happens tomorrow. 515 if it holds for the breakout, though I short it. Potential dip by 453. Really hold number 450 area. So if it holds 450 and up, then you take it long. Otherwise, you can short it. And the next key area is 423. All right, for the dip buy. Otherwise, you can short it. Next up is AES. AES is up 7%. It you know, had this nice strong volume bar today, and you know, right now it's about at that high 1127. So if it breaks above 1127 and holds, take it long. If it retraces back to 11 and holds, buy the dip. Otherwise, you could short it, risking off 11 or 1127, which is the high. If it retraces back to 1077, you can buy the dip. Now, if it breaks 1077, this thing is gonna get back to about 1040. Because there's nothing really stopping it from just tanking, getting back there. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, if it can't hold 11, you got the potential to get almost a whole to about 50 cents. So we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Next up, CNX. CNX has hit a high 1606. If it can hold 1606 and break 1606 and hold, take it long. If it retraces back and holds 1564, which is like kind of near it right now, buy the dip. Otherwise, if it breaks below it, short it. You do have, you know, some support at 1550 and then some support at 1522, to just keep that in mind. I mean, in theory, I can put, you know, another 1522 here. I could put an alert here. I'm not going to do it now, but if you want to, you can actually add an alert here, 1522, to potentially buy the dip if it retraces back. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Next up is HPE. HPE, Hewlett Packard, hit a high 1913 today. It's retraced back to 1880. So if it can't hold 1880, you could take it short tomorrow. If it holds above 1880, take it long. Looking at 913 as a resistance point. If it breaks 913 and holds, go long. Its high here is 1969, so just keep that in mind over the last couple of days. So it could retest that if it breaks above that key level. You know, so you may want to put an alert here to buy breakout if holds 1969. We'll put that, create an alert. Buy breakout if holds 1969 or short rejection. Alright, so just to keep that on watch. So we'll see what happens tomorrow for Hewlett Packard. To last three stocks is THC. THC is up. Tenet, I've traded this several times. This stock, when it moves, and when it gets back, it gets back. Now, what got me really excited about this stock, and I'm going to be watching this closely, is that 2050 level. So, you know, hit a high of 22 today, and it retraced back to that 2050 level and held. But look what happens. It has a gap to fill below right here. Okay, it has a gap to fill below at 20. What does it say? What's this stock? Oh, right here. Sorry, guys. It has a gap to fill at 1934. So if it can't hold this 2050, I mean, there is some, you know, candles here, and there's potential support. I think it gets back all the way to $19. So I'm really gonna be watching to see if it can hold 19. If it can't hold 1950, But if it can hold by the dip, because if it gets to 21 and breaks above it, I think the potential here is there's a potential this stock gets back up to 22 tomorrow. I mean, there is some resistance here at 21.50, so be careful with 21.50, but you can see a nice move tomorrow in the stock. I would love to see it break 20.50 and just totally collapse, take it short. I think with Thinkorswim, it's easy to borrow. So yeah, if it's easy to borrow here, it's easy to borrow with E-Trade and everywhere else. Next up is Macy's. Macy's, gapped up pre-market really nicely, and then it couldn't break above that 31.11, and just double tapped, and then just completely tanked back to 27.93. But you see, it never broke below. It's kind of consolidated sideways. So what I'm looking to see is it gonna get above back this high here of 28.96? So think of it this way: if it can hold $29, take it long, because I think this thing will get back to $31 tomorrow. If it can break 29 and hold, that's my guess. I mean, it's still below VWAP. VWAP's 29.39, so it can get rejected. But my guess is that it runs again if it can hold. I don't know any of the news. I haven't looked. I'm just looking up basing this off the technicals. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But Macy's, be mindful. It could be potentially move. I think it gaps up and breaks 29. 28.96 is technically the resistance level, but we say whole numbers are psychological resistance barriers. So if it can hold above 29, then take it long. Last but not least is ODK. I just put this on the watch list because this is another one of those stocks that has this big gap to fill below. And if it can, I'm just really looking at one key level here. If it can't hold 35.41, which is the support level, then expect this to tank, and you can get probably like 2 points on this. All right, so I mean 1.5, maybe 2 points, shorting it. So and it should be shortable. Yeah, it's shortable with E-Trade, so it's gonna be short. I mean with Thinkorswim, so it's gonna be shortable with pretty much anyone. In theory, if you wanted to, if it got above 37.17 right here, or whatever, 37, what is this, high 37.14, you could take it long. You do have some resistance here at 37.42 and at 37.68. But in theory, if it broke above 37.13, you could take it long. But I'm really just interested in that break below 35.41, or by the dip if it holds. All right, folks, so that's the watch list. I mean, I didn't have time to look through more stocks, but these are, pretty good. It's a pretty good watch list. Most people are going to be playing AKER and ABIO and NIHD tomorrow. We'll see how it goes, all right? So have a great night. Like, subscribe, and leave comments. Let me know how you guys been doing, all right? Have a great one.